What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar. Today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch, and more importantly, some of the launch titles that have now been leaked that are going to be released alongside the Nintendo Switch, and most importantly, Smash is on that list, so we're going to be discussing those. For those of you who don't know, because this has only come out in the last couple of hours actually, there's an industry insider is what she's being described as, Laura Kate Dale, and she has been releasing all kinds of new information regarding the Switch. The first thing has to do with these NFC ID cards, which will basically allow you to transfer content between consoles a lot easier, and I think that's supposed to make up for the fact that there's not going to be any kind of a disk drive on the Switch. So it basically says that you can purchase additional cards for $10 and then also customize cards on Nintendo's website and things like that. And that, I'm sure we'll learn some more information about now, because as of now, it's incredibly vague. What does that include? What doesn't that include? That is what we're going to have to be looking forward to from Nintendo in the next, few months leading up to the NX, or I guess the Switch now. I'm so used to calling it the NX still. But man, we're only like 4 months away from the Switch release. Like, it seems so crazy that it was just announced. We've had little to no news, and all of a sudden we're about to have it in our hands, just a few months away. And of course, what this video is mainly about are the upcoming titles that have also been leaked. Now, there have been 3 titles that have been specifically leaked, 2 of which were actually kind of teased within the Switch reveal trailer itself. Those 3 games are Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros., and Splatoon. Both Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon were teased in the reveal trailer. For Mario Kart 8, it was shown that 2 people were playing split screen, and they were playing on Yoshi's Circuit. And to someone who doesn't, super play Mario Kart 8, you might not notice that there's anything suspicious. But King Boo was one of the playable characters on the screen, and that is not possible in the current Mario Kart 8 build. So hopefully in the Switch that will be an additional thing, as well as in Splatoon. Someone like me who doesn't play Splatoon that often wouldn't notice this, but there were all kinds of items and weapons that you weren't able to get in the original game. So people were expecting that to be Splatoon 2 for the Switch, but the industry insider has said that all 3 of those games, Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros., and Splatoon, are going to be released as launch titles, as sort of director's cut editions, so to speak, with all of the DLC that's been available for those games. I don't think for Splatoon there's been any DLC, but for Mario Kart 8 and Smash, obviously there has been DLC. So they're saying that the director's cut is going to sort of give a gold edition and bring all of that to one, I don't know what they're doing, disc, little cartridge, whatever, in addition to extra content. And that's really the main focus here, because obviously I'm super into Smash, so let's talk about Smash. There has been rumors since the NX was officially leaked, so to speak, before it was even the Switch, but when the NX was just simply, the news for the NX was very, very scarce, but we knew that it existed. There's always been that rumor that they're gonna do a gold release for Smash. They're going to bring all the DLC into one, do sort of I've always heard it called a gold edition, where it's just all on the disc. I always picture the disc in my head, that's why I'm doing that. But all the DLC is going to be on the disc, all the DLC fighters, all the DLC stages, everything like that. And it's going to be all available for one $60 purchase on the NX. And that has, I guess, been more confirmed, I guess. Before it was always a rumor. Now it's still a rumor, but it's more of a credible rumor because it's coming from sort of a credible source. But it does make me wonder what they're going to do, because a big thing about Smash for Wii U was that you were able to play with just any controller you wanted. You could pick up your 3DS and play it. If you had the GameCube adapter, you can play it. You can grab your Pro controller and you can play it. It all just, you could play on any controller you wanted. And as far as the Switch goes, we've only seen, what are they called, the Joypads? What do they call them? Sorry, I forget what they are called. The Joy-Cons, the Joy controllers, the Joy-Cons that go on the side. That's all we've seen so far, and so I don't know what we're going to be able to do with Smash on the Nintendo Switch. That sounds so weird, Smash for the Nintendo Switch. Because all we've seen from the Switch so far, and keep in mind this is just the trailer, is we've seen the tablet, we've seen the Joy-Cons, we've seen the Pro Controller, and then we've seen the dock. That's all we've seen. So we don't know if there's a secondary console that you can plug things in. We don't know if the dock is USB compatible. We don't even know if we'll be able to connect our Pro Controllers to the Nintendo Switch, our Wii U Pro Controllers, I should say, to the Nintendo Switch through the dock, or I guess the tablet. I'm not sure. There's just so much we don't know, and that's something that I'm not necessarily concerned about, but just intrigued about, I guess. As far as the competitive scene goes, if we can't use GameCube controllers, we'll just stick with the Wii U version. I mean, Melee has been going for 14 years with just the GameCube version. The Wii brought a little bit of life back to that, but we're still fine with the GameCube version. So I'm confident that even if the Switch came out with a Smash Gold release, a Director's Cut, whatever you want to call it, but we weren't able to use Pro Controllers, GameCube controllers, the competitive scene would be just fine. But I think that they would be really excluding a huge niche in the market if they didn't bring that adapter into bring the adapter to the Switch. Just because think about all the Smash players. I mean, I for one am personally gonna get Smash for the Switch no matter what. Whether that ends up being Smash 4 for the Switch, or if this rumor ends up being false and ends up being Smash 5 years down the line, I will still buy Smash, obviously, because I am a huge Smash fan. But as far as the competitive scene goes, they would really be missing out on a lot of earnings, I would say, a lot of sales, because think of all the Smash players who want the new console, and if the Smash game that they play is on that console, they'll definitely pick it up, because why wouldn't they, you know? But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Switch. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is a real leak? Do you think that this is just someone trying to yank our chain? I mean, it apparently comes from a credible source. She's referred to as an industry insider on nearly any article that I've read, so I'm going to assume that she has some sort of credence. She's verified on Twitter. Everything about her looks legit. It's not like one of these 4chan leaks where, you know, it's just someone saying, yeah, I work for Nintendo, here's the information, because we've seen that before, and we know that that does not always end up being true or real or anything. So it appears to come from a credible source. So let me know, what do you think? What do you think that this is? Do you think it's real? I don't know. I really hope it is. As far as the Mario game and Splatoon goes, Splatoon has, all that's been said about Splatoon is that there will be new content on the Director's Cut edition as well as Smash. For the Mario game, there's actually supposedly a 3D version of Super Mario also in the works. That's not going to be a launch title, I don't think. It's just sort of in the works for now. We did see very, very small amount of gameplay on that during the reveal trailer. And apparently it's going to be sort of like a Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie World Hub type thing. And apparently we're going to be able to go back and visit all kinds of worlds that we've played in previous games. The quote from the industry insider, I forget her name, sorry, Laura Kate Dale, says that there will be a hub that you can go through, and you know, there's an ice hub that can connect you to a desert level. There will be new collectibles and power-ups, and you'll be able to do 2-player co-op with Luigi. So supposedly you'll be able to go between different levels in the game. Maybe I've read this wrong. It's possible I read this wrong. Oh no, it's an amalgamation. So maybe it's not like an anniversary thing like Sonic Generations, but it's just sort of, as far as the game actually plays, it's supposed to be like previous games like 64 and Sunshine. So that's it, but you know, obviously the focus of this video was on the Smash portion because that's mainly what we talk about here on the channel is Smash, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing if we're actually going to be getting a Smash for the Nintendo Switch. Like I said, I'll buy it anyway. I've purchased now 3 copies total of Smash 4, 1 for 3DS and 2 for Wii U. So I definitely will be buying that no matter what, because I've also got Smash 64, Smash Melee, Smash Brawl, and then the other one. So I'm obviously a huge Smash fan. So yeah, let me know what you think. If this leak is real, what do you think that the actual additional content is going to be? That is something I'm not going to speak on right now because it would just be wild speculation. I could say that, you know, Wild Gunman from Duck Hunt, the character, is now going to be a new character. I could say that Ice Climbers and Wolf are coming back. I could say anything. So I'm not going to actually genuinely speak on that until we have a little bit more information. Then the speculation can begin. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. I'm trying to branch out into more news type videos as far as Smash goes. So yeah, we'll see what kind of news videos there will be in the future, assuming this leak is real. Thanks guys for watching, and have a great day.